Well, hello. Today is the start of the Medway Keelboat Regatta 2018. We've delayed the start by an hour already. There's no wind. It's very disappointing.
Medway race fleet. This is offshore 1.
Ooh.
This is the course.
So, this is the start. I think we've already been sailing a couple of minutes and we're still trying to get across the start line. That J-boat is in our race. He's sort of doing quite well. We've got our white reefer just there. We've got, what is that boat over there called? Halaby. Over there doing quite well. They've gone for their own kind of space. Muskrat there. What does that mean? Oh. And we've got a few behind us.
Shit on a bit tight.
Very painful and not really very much fun at the moment.
So the Medway Keelboat Regatta is normally held over 3 days, a Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and this is Friday. We were to hold 2 races today, and as you saw, we didn't get off to a particularly exciting start, and to be honest, we never really got much better than what you see on the screen here now. But we did get 2 races in, and we had a good time on board. Unfortunately, Saturday didn't bring much with it either, so we're going to skip past that, and we'll concentrate on the one final race that we did on the Sunday, because that day we had some wind. Not a lot, but it was at least enough to have a proper sailboat race.
Well, hello, it's the last day of the Medway Yacht Club Keelboat Regatta 2018. We didn't film yesterday because it was so hot, there was no wind and I really didn't feel very well, so we didn't do it.
Yeah?
It took 4 hours, I think, of just drifting. Today we've got 5, are we in knots, darling, on mile per hour?
Knots.
5 knots of wind. Which is still pretty boring, isn't it? But we'll see.
6 knots.
We hopefully can at least move this time. So, yes. It's postponed at the moment because I believe we're waiting for the dragons to come down this end. I don't know. Well, we haven't even got a course yet. It's 10 o'clock and we're just waiting for instructions. We all rather like this pretty swan. And that boat over there is winning plate.
At this point, I feel I should make our collective excuses. We had a strong outgoing tide and the wind had switched off at 2 minutes to go, meaning that none of us really got our time on distance even remotely right.
Got a squid below, hon, do you see it? 34. He's definitely quicker than my watch. 26. Halaby, whatever she's. 14. Oops, poor J-boat got a bit. This boat's completely in the way for A, whoever she is. Yeah, just. No, we're no one compared to them. This is the rest of Class Division 1.
We're worried about reefer and formula, aren't we? Is it? We're going okay. Yeah, we're going to lose speed as we take that.
It's the ball. Yay! We crossed the line. Yeah. We were aiming at the committee boat. That's our lovely volunteers.
More wind. So this first beat would prove rather frustrating for us. With the tide against us and such light winds, you had to try and make sure you were in the right place at the right time. And although we didn't feel as if we did anything wrong, we never seemed to be in that right place at the right time. For example, it was only Hellaby and us who were even remotely close to the line at the start, but the boats that were very late got the new breeze as it came along at the committee boat and the lift that came with it, and were immediately back in the race.
Yep.
Not really complaining, because as the race would unfold, we would have our fair share of the lucky wind shifts as well. But for this first beat, things just didn't really pan out. What's going on over there?
I have no idea.
Nice bottom.
I have absolutely no idea.
So as you can see, even arriving at the mark wasn't easy. We overstood it by probably a couple of boat lengths, when we were only a couple of boat lengths from it, and even then, we only just about squeaked round. Then, to further add to the frustrations of the first beat, we, like the boats around us, struggled to get to what was effectively the wing mark, but turned into a beat because of the outgoing tide. And the last few boats in Class 1 that were originally miles behind got a good lift in the new breeze, 6-7 knots, and just reached across to it. So the race effectively restarted. Well, that is, apart from Hellaby, that was miles in front by now. I don't know about you guys, but we often have conversations on board about how much difference a spinnaker really makes. Well, Nimbus, the black boat alongside us, had always been quite quick off wind, and for some reason, at the start of this leg, they struggled to get their spinnaker up and flying, and we pulled a big lead by the time we got to the next mark. Just radio until you retire.
There's Valhalla, yeah. There's a dog on deck.
For this race, the race officer had set a course with a lot of marks on it, and it didn't really go very far. We normally hate courses like this on our boat, but for today, in these light fluky winds, it was perfect. It meant the fleet stayed together, and the people in charge of the race could keep an eye on everyone. Consequently, there's a few hoists and drops and a few different beats and legs, and we'll cut a lot of them out. But this was the drop at the end of the first run, ready for a beat back to where we'd come from. Now this was the first of two tactical decisions that really paid off for us, in part because of a bit of luck with the wind, but also because, well, we like to think, it was the right thing to do. A lot of the yachts stood on at this mark to get over past the jetty into the shallow water, hoping to get out the tide. We tacked, following the shallow water on the southern shore first, to avoid the rush of tide that goes round the corner sweeping you downriver, so we could then just cut across the tide further up, and it paid off big time. Okay, so we've skipped a long way through the race now. You can see the J92 just up ahead of us, going round the mark. We're kind of on the homeward stretch. There was another little dog leg here, up and down between buoys 24 and 23, and then the final beat back against the tide to the finish line at buoy 29. Again, because of the nature of the courses that were set and one finish line for everyone, we were right in amongst not only our own fleet's boats, but all the other fleets as well. And that's pretty much it, except before I go, I thought I'd just show you this. This happened on the first speed of the first race on the first day. Do you know, that day with no wind? The one thing you really don't want to do with an outgoing tide and no wind when you're in a race is go aground. But if you do go aground, it's good to have people on board who are quite happy just to climb up the mast with no lines, ropes or even prompting. They got themselves off in the end.
Spreaders. Okay, Daryl, I don't think that'll be happening on our boat, do you? Yeah. Oh my God, there is. That's Paul that normally sells red reefer. Wow, look at this. They're tacking and they're...
It's going over, Phil.
Oh, that'll be a good photo as well. Let's go. Oh, baby girl. This might get reefer off if they can get a wiggle on. I can't believe they both come up the mast.